These are the biggest convict outbursts of all time. Welcome back, Charlie here. From criminals who had meltdowns when they were handed life sentences, to terrifying convicts who did the unthinkable in court.
This is a state that doesn't have the death penalty.
This is Sean Riker, one of Wisconsin's most feared inmates. He was in court for harming his family, including his wife and kids. Sean had a violent past. He had previously served 12 years in prison. This was for detonating pipe bombs around Utah, which is why he was shackled to a chair in court, and also made to wear a spit mask. But it seems he wasn't too happy about this, which led to Sean berating the judge, Wayne Marrick.
Your idea, Merrick? Huh? You got me looking like a clown? Stupid Paul. Merrick. Yeah!
It's clearly not a good idea to curse at the man who's about to decide your fate. But that's when Sean took things to the next level. He threatened to end the life of the judge, Wayne Marrick, and even said he knew the judge's address.
Killing all you Wayne. I got your address, Wayne Merrick. I got your home address.
Sean then turns to the right and begins berating the prosecutor.
Eat this up.
The judge tries to keep control of the court, but eventually realizes Sean won't stop, causing the judge to tell cops to remove Sean from the court.
What the do you want? Later.
I bet Sean soon regretted his outburst, because he went on to be sentenced to 200 years in prison. Sean appealed this sentence, but was denied. At least now this dangerous man will never be free to roam the streets again. But some would say this man is even more dangerous. His name is Sidney Newsom. Sidney was in a Mississippi court for harming his girlfriend. At first, Sidney appears calm, but when Sidney's mother and brother enter the courtroom, this all changes. He tries to talk to his family, but a courtroom cop says no. This causes Sidney to get very annoyed, and he begins arguing with the judge. This prompts the judge, Aubrey Rhymes, to order Sidney's removal from court. But as the courtroom cop tries to remove Sidney, he goes wild. He throws a stack of papers at the judge, and then tries to harm the judge. The court clerk runs away, and Sidney's mother begins screaming and jumping. You can even see the shock on the faces of the fellow inmates in court. The lone court cop struggles to restrain Sidney, which allows Sidney to throw a phone at the judge, and also knock over a computer monitor. But that's when Judge Aubrey Rhymes has enough. Both the judge and Sidney's own brother restrain him on a table. The judge then returns to his desk and resumes proceedings, while various cops remove Sidney from the court. Sidney's outburst led to an additional contempt of court charge, which landed him an additional 48 hours in jail. Thankfully, Sidney was never able to lay hands on the judge, but an even wilder criminal might be Ryan Stone. In October of 2015, Ryan Stone decided to play Grand Theft Auto in real life, going on a crime spree in Colorado. Ryan first hijacked a car with a 4-year-old boy inside, leading police on an hour-long police chase. The entire chase was caught by news helicopters. During the chase, Ryan drove at 100 miles per hour, and even stole various other people's vehicles. Ryan also bumped into crashed cars and cars which were driving. Ryan also came inches from running over a cop. After a long chase, Ryan's car crashed, leading to his arrest. Ryan was arrested for kidnapping, motor vehicle theft, assault, and eluding police. In court, Ryan began crying and said how sorry he was for what he did.
I pray you leave me time to start a family of my own.
But that was when the court played this. During a prison phone call with a friend, Ryan can be seen laughing about what he did, and even bragging about how he made international news.
My lawyer told me I made the news in the UK and Australia.
The judge and the jury did not buy Ryan's crocodile tears, and Ryan was given the maximum sentence possible, a 160-year sentence without possibility of parole. Ryan cried even more when he realized he would spend the rest of his life behind bars. But instead of getting upset, some inmates experienced pure rage in court. This was the case for Antonio Rosales. Antonio was charged with kidnapping and harming a 10-year-old girl. When the prosecutor describes Antonio's crimes, he snaps, grabbing a keyboard and slamming a computer monitor. During this chaos, the judge, Deborah Nelson, presses a button to open a door to let other cops in. But the door doesn't open, giving Antonio more time to resist. Eventually, more officers rush in, and Antonio is carried out of the courtroom. The next day, Antonio is given 3 life sentences, meaning this evil man will spend his final days behind bars. But an even scarier convict might be this man. This is 18-year-old Leonid Gracer from Russia. He was in court for ending his sister's life, but as he was handed a life sentence, he decided to make a bizarre escape. He knocked out various ceiling panels and tried to climb out of his glass-walled box. Obviously, the police saw this and brought him back down. But Leonid then went on to say that he was ordered by Satan to end his sister's life. And when asked if he was sorry, Leonid said that he did what he had to do. But this killer had a very different reaction in court. This man is named Jaleel Smith Riley. One night in Cincinnati, Jaleel and 2 other men approached a parked car. Inside the car was 20-year-old Portia Brooks and her boyfriend Aaron Martin. Jaleel then robbed the couple. Before shooting them both, Aaron Martin was left with permanent brain damage, and Portia Brooks sadly passed away. In court, Portia's mother said that Jaleel had ruined her life.
He ruined my life.
In the courtroom, Jaleel began crying, saying that he just wants to come home someday.
Go back away. I'm so sorry.
But the judge, Charles Kubicki, showed no remorse, sentencing Jaleel to life in prison without possibility for parole. When Jaleel heard this, he collapsed, falling to the floor in tears.
Defendant serve a term of life without parole. As to count 4 for the offense of attempted murder.
Jaleel's reaction was dramatic, but Keeson Wilkins' courtroom actions were even more outrageous. Keeson decided to represent himself in court. He had been charged for shooting someone. During the trial, Keeson Wilkins tells the judge he needs more time to prepare, but the judge is not sympathetic, telling Keeson he's had months to prepare. But that's when Keeson pulls one of the oldest tricks in the book. Keeson collapses mid-sentence, causing cops to rush to his aid, but the judge does not seem concerned. A medic checks Keeson over and realizes there's nothing wrong with him. Faking a heart attack in court is very common, and while it may work in movies, it doesn't work in real life. Eventually, Keeson is removed from court, and he was sentenced to 42 years in prison. Keeson really made his situation even worse, just like what happened with Bryce Rhodes. Bryce Rhodes was in court for ending 3 people's lives. Bryce had shot and ended the life of Christopher Jones, but 14-year-old Larry Ordway and his 16-year-old brother Maurice Gordon witnessed this crime. To get rid of any witnesses, Bryce ended their lives too. Bryce's crimes were very evil, but in court, Bryce showed how evil he really is. He began cursing at the judge, and at one point even threatened the judge, saying that he could find where the judge lives.
I'm gonna keep talking because I don't want to have to see you back here for this.
On December 20th, 2023, Bryce Rhodes was given 3 life sentences, 1 for each life he took. But now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Comment below which of these convict outbursts was the most shocking. I've been Charlie, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.